What's up guys, welcome back to another exotic armor review video. Obviously in Warmind we're actually getting a lot of updates to a lot of the previous exotic armor pieces that we gotten for all the classes. Obviously in 1.2.1 we got 6 pieces, in 1.2.3 we're about to get 9 pieces of armor that are getting upgraded, but I do want to go over one of the best Titan exotics in my opinion. It is the Synthoceps Exotic Gauntlets. Let's just quickly go over its perks. So it comes with biotic enhancements, increased melee lunge range, improved melee and super damage when surrounded. What's really cool is when you're surrounded by more than 3 people, you will see biotic enhancements actually kick in the bottom left corner where other perks usually kick in, like Rampage or Outlaw and stuff like that. So you will know when this perk is activated. Now, on how to obtain this weapon, considering that it isn't an exotic tied to a quest, it's essentially a random drop from either exotic engram or Zerk could bring it around, or you could potentially get it from the Fader engram if you do not have this exotic yet. Now here's my thoughts on the perk. So biotic enhancements, so obviously it got buffed in 1.2.1. Obviously there are some stuff that's stuck in, there's stuff that haven't, but I do want to go over just in general what this exotic does now. So essentially you get double the melee range with this thing. So if you're meleeing somebody, you can hit them from really far away. You basically Superman punch them. Plus now you get 50% more melee damage when you're surrounded by 3 or more enemies. So once you get that first melee kill off, and you do even more melee damage as well on top of that, which is pretty awesome. So you could potentially one-hit melee enemies, even in the Crucible. You could shoot them with 2 bullets and then one-hit melee them. I've actually seen somebody actually one-hit melee somebody in the Crucible without having to get a few shots on them. It's a little ridiculous, a little crazy, but it's cool. Plus, having extra super damage is always good, but you don't always have your super versus always being able to melee. Having that extra damage is really cool, especially if you're using something like hammers or striker or something like that. You get some extra damage out of it. But the cool thing is that the perk itself lasts around 8 seconds when you're not surrounded. So if you are surrounded and you run away, the perk actually lasts a long time, so you can still go on a killing spree with that extra melee damage. PvE wise, I don't have any footage, but I can say that it has been significantly improved for PvE activities. The main goal that Bungie was talking about for this buff was to make it better for PvE. Everybody knew it was good for the Crucible, but everybody's like, well, what about the other side of the spectrum? So, and I believe Bungie have actually done that. So the biotic enhancement perk is almost always going to be active when you're in PvE, considering in most of those activities you're surrounded by more than 3 adds in an area, which, I mean, that's going to be super good for crowd control, especially if you're using a build to where you can get your health back, I would say, whenever you're playing around. So plus that increased super damage is going to be good again, for crowd control and potential boss DPS as well, especially if you're surrounded by enemies and you're trying to hit a boss with a hammer. You're going to be able to do more damage. So it's essentially it's extremely viable in PvE now, and it can be a game changer in those higher tier activities as well, especially things like raids where there's a lot of adds around, like Eater Worlds, Leviathan, stuff like that. It can be really good. PvP wise, in the Crucible, this is still the best Titan exotic to be using, hands down, in my opinion. Being able to literally 2-hit and 1-hit melee enemies allows for a lot of interesting builds that you can use. Most people use the Ward of Dawn skill tree on the Sentinel subclass because the melee itself actually allows for an overshield. Plus, even if you don't have the perk active and you do get a melee kill, you still get health regeneration on top of that, which is pretty awesome. I know for myself, sometimes I will use the Striker subclass tree that allows for health regen and extra damage on melee kills. It's the one that doesn't allow for the double grenades or the soldier charge, which is all those meta titans. So definitely try out this build with the Synthoceps. It's really good. Plus, once you get that melee kill, your weapons get 100% stability for a short time. So being able to have 100% stability on something that has a lot of kick, like hand cannons and stuff like that, makes it super, super crispy. Finally, my ranking is a solid 10 out of 10. Overall, again, I already mentioned this, but this is hands down the best Titan exotic to be using, especially for PvP. It has extreme viability and can almost always be active in a lot of engagements, especially now with Iron Banner. It's going 6v6 Iron Banner, plus Quick Play is getting tuned to where it's going to be 6v6. So biotic enhancements is almost always going to be active in those 6v6, in those bigger playlists, I would say. And now that's been buffed for PvE, it's going to perform so much better in PvE, and you'll be able to drop yellow bar ads and potentially even orange bar ads way faster. So it just has really good use overall. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on a review over the updated 1.2.1 Synthoceps. If you guys want to help support me, there'll be a link below. Say best way to support me. I'll take it to a 4-minute video. If you want to go check that out, that'd be greatly appreciated. But if you don't want to do that, you can always like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video, turn that notification bell next to subscribe if you mean notify when I drop some new content on the channel, and then comment what y'all want to see below. Again, I'm making content for y'all, so whatever you want to see, I'll try to get it out there. I do want to drop a lot of Forsaken content like obviously like stuff like the Barons, stuff with the new supers as well. I'm going to be dropping that soon. Don't worry about it. We will be going into that stuff. Also, the Discord link is below. If you want to join the Discord, there are no requirements. You don't have to be part of the clan or anything crazy like that. You can just join. We have some chats going about some upcoming games, obviously like Destiny 2 Forsaken, Division 2, and Anthem. Plus, we have some voice chats right now. If you want to like Nightfall or Raid with me and some other members of the community, that would be pretty cool. Or if you just want to talk to me, like that's going to be the best way to do that. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you next time.